The sauropods were one of the three groups of dinosaurs that evolved during the early Mesozoic era. Their ancestors evolved during the Late Triassic period, and are possibly represented by animals such as Eoraptor from Argentina. The earliest forms were tiny compared to their descendants during the Late Jurassic and Cretaceous such as Diplodocus or Argentinosaurus. However, they would grow increasingly larger towards the end of the Triassic. The early sauropodomorphs are sometimes called prosauropods, which means before sauropods. They have sometimes been considered a sub-branch of sauropodomorphs and not directly ancestral to true sauropods. In this video, we will look at two European types of prosauropods that lived during the Late Triassic, Efraasia and Thecodontosaurus. Efraasia was a genus of prosauropods that lived in Germany during the Late Triassic. It derives its name from the German paleontologist Eberhard Frass, who discovered the first remains in 1909. Efraasia was slightly larger than other related species, reaching 2.4 meters in length but quite similar in body shape. It had long fingers and a mobile thumb on its forearms to grasp small plants and bundles of leaves. The palm of the hand could also be easily pressed on the ground, so the animal could walk on four legs. Efraasia had primitive features in its skeleton. It only had two sacral vertebrae joining the hips to the backbone, which made the arrangement of the back portion of its body rather weak. Other Sauropodomorph dinosaurs usually had three vertebrae linking the hips to the spine. Late Triassic Germany was also home to several other early sauropodomorphs, including the famous Plateosaurus. They coexisted with early theropod dinosaurs like Liliensternus and other archosaur reptiles, including phytosaurs, rauisuchians and atosaurs. Thecodontosaurus, meaning socket-toothed lizard, was a genus of prosauropods that lived in Britain during the Late Triassic. It resembled an early Jurassic prosauropod called Ankylosaurus in build, although it had a shorter neck and more teeth in its jaws. Thecodontosaurus measured 2 meters in length. It had a small head like other prosauropods, and its teeth were adapted for shearing plants. The front legs were shorter than the back legs. It may have typically moved around on 4 legs, although it would also have been capable of walking on its back feet. Hundreds of fossil specimens of Thecodontosaurus have been discovered in the UK, including the remains of both juveniles and adults. The first fossil remains were discovered in the 1830s near Bristol in southern England, in limestone which had formed during the earlier Carboniferous period. The earliest specimens were later lost during the Second World War when the city of Bristol was bombed by the Luftwaffe. When Thecodontosaurus was alive during the Late Triassic, the landscape was generally desert-like, and the limestones would have formed high and parched plateaus. Thecodontosaurus was one of the first dinosaurs to be named, after Megalosaurus, Iguanodon and Heliosaurus.